Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, driver pleaded guilty for Clarendon crash that killed 2 students. Jerome Wint, the driver of a vehicle in which 2 students were killed in a crash in Clarendon last year, has pleaded guilty. Wint, 34, was before the court on charges of causing death by dangerous driving without a road license, and having no insurance coverage following the death of Lennon High School students Jordan Lodge and Richard Tolo in a crash on the Bustamante Highway last December. He pleaded guilty on Tuesday before the Clarendon Circuit Court and is to be sentenced on May 22. The judge, Justice Chester Stamp, has ordered that a social inquiry report and an antecedent report be prepared. The students were passengers in Mr. Wint's vehicle, which collided with a Toyota Probox, a registered public passenger vehicle. 3 other students were injured in the crash. Police investigating sexual assault of 2 girls in Old Harbor. The St. Catharines South Police are investigating the sexual assault of 2 children in Old Harbor, St. Catherine. The sexual assault of 2 girls, aged 9 and 10, reportedly occurred last Wednesday, May 7, but has only now come to public attention. According to police reports, the children were walking home from school in Church Pen, Old Harbor, around midday when they were approached by a man unknown to them. He allegedly forced them into nearby bushes, threatened to kill them if they raised an alarm, and sexually assaulted them. The young victims are receiving medical treatment and counseling. The police are appealing to anyone who may have seen any suspicious activity in the Church Pen area last Wednesday to come forward. 2 guns seized in St. Andrew police operation. 2 firearms were seized in separate but related operations in the St. Andrew Central Police Division on Tuesday. In the first incident, at around 2:30 p.m., police conducted a targeted raid along Malines Road, where a black Ruger Maydon AR-556 high-powered rifle was seized. Reports are that police acting on intelligence searched an open lot along the roadway, where they found the firearm hidden under a container wrapped in a black garbage bag. Preliminary intelligence suggested that the firearm belonged to the arsenal of the Upsetter gang based in the Kingston Western Division. Later that day, at around 4 p.m., in another intelligence-led operation, a black and silver Taurus PT 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 4 9mm cartridges was seized. It is reported that the police conducted a search along Tarrant Drive, during which the firearm was found hidden behind a section of zinc fencing surrounding the property. Intelligence, police said, indicates that the firearm belonged to the Ambrook Lane gang. Earlier in the day, police had seized an illegal gun from a man seen acting suspiciously along Tarrant Drive. He has since been charged. Noel Maitland appeared disturbed, in panic after Donna-Lee's disappearance, mom testifies. Sophia Locke testified Wednesday that Constable Noel Maitland, the boyfriend of her daughter, Donna-Lee Donaldson, seemed nervous while at the Halfway Tree police station in St. Andrew, where they had gone to report Donaldson missing on July 13, 2022. Donaldson was last seen alive on July 12, 2022 at the Chelsea Manor apartment complex in St. Andrew, where Maitland lived. Prosecutors have compiled a host of circumstantial evidence and have used it to build a case against Maitland, who is on trial in the Home Circuit Court in Kingston in relation to murder and the unlawful burial of Donaldson's corpse. There was closed-circuit television footage of Donaldson and Maitland arriving at the apartment, but none which showed her leaving the complex. Logge told the 7-member jury in the trial that while she was giving a statement at the police station, her mood was one of devastation. On the other hand, she said, Maitland seemed as if he was disturbed and in panic. Noel came in the room where Officer Vulture and I were. He told the officer that he would have to leave. Officer Vulture said, "You can't go because your statement is not yet given." Noel told Officer Vulture that he would leave his number with him, so he can call him when it is his time to give the statement. He then left. Noel was moving very fast, Log recalled. Maitland had his phone in his hand and he was texting very fast. I didn't see who he was texting or what was being texted. Yes, I did complete that statement to the police. When I was finished, I left the station, Log said. A very emotional Log on Tuesday outlined for the jury that Maitland had contacted her on the 13th to ask her if she had heard from Donaldson. Log explained that she thought the question was ridiculous because it was Maitland who picked up her daughter from her house and brought her to where he lived. His explanation to Log when she raised the questions was that both himself and Donaldson got upset over a particular issue and she left. He insisted that he did not know where she went or if anyone came and picked her up. Log recommended that he check the cameras at the apartment complex, and according to her, Maitland thought that was a good idea and said he wasn't at the apartment but would call her back shortly. On Wednesday, Log told the court that Maitland in fact called her back, explaining that he got no positive information from the people responsible for accessing and monitoring the cameras. He called back and said he spoke to the camera guys and they said there were a lot of vehicles coming in and out with glasses wound up, so they wouldn't be able to see who was taking her out. I told him that was stupidity. I told him that doesn't make sense because the cars must have stopped at the security point when they leaving and entering. He then promised to call me back. He called back in about 45 minutes after that last call. He started encouraging me and insisted that I report the matter. He kept repeating that I needed to go to the police station because this was unlike Donna. He meant something was really wrong with Donna. He asked me which police station I was going. I told him I would speak to him. In about half an hour, he called me again. By that time, I was convinced that something had happened to Donna-Lee. I decided to go to the Halfway Tree police station. It was the nearest one. My brother and a couple of my family members accompanied me in my car. When I arrived at the station, my phone was ringing. It was Noel Maitland. He asked me which one of the police stations I decided to go. I told him and he said he would be there shortly, Log shared. In about 5 minutes, a silver car pulled up and it was Noel, accompanied by a female. Yes, I knew the person's name, Kathy Ann Smith. When Noel pulled up in the silver car, he came up the stairs at the police station. Noel Maitland and I started speaking to an Inspector Henry. I started explaining to Miss Henry when Donna-Lee left home. I pointed to Mr. Maitland and I said, "Inspector, this is our boyfriend. He was the one who took her from home," Log told the court. According to her, the inspector turned to Maitland and asked him what happened. Log said Maitland told Inspector Henry that Donaldson left the apartment a little after 10. She said that the policewoman then asked him who picked her up and he said he did not know. Miss Henry said to him, "Come better than that, you know better than that," Log told the court. Donaldson's mother said too that her daughter went out with Maitland at least twice per week and would usually return home the following morning. He normally would drop her off in his black BMW. On one occasion, he drove the truck that carries prisoners. He also would drive a police jeep, she said, highlighting that Donaldson had alerted her to a disagreement she had with Maitland and told her what it was about. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.